Hey everyone, it's been a long 2 weeks, but we finally have next season coming up. And good news is, I think it's gonna be pretty better than last time. Should be some easy hits and decent for no instant training. It is made by the one and only Chicken. We're gonna link his YouTube down below, but it also means for this season, he's gonna get all the credit or all the blame. So we're gonna look at the tree and kind of see what we're gonna deal with. It's a little description here. Chickens running amok at large scale. I guess we're all chickens for this season. And I kind of like the title too, Can Chickens Fly? Cause, well, I know Chicken really loves his bombers, but maybe using some rocket choppers this season. Who knows? But already at 2 ER, you can kind of see the deck. Maybe like an arrowhead shaped. You can put ERs towards the back. And starting troops is rifles. You have Zukas also at 2 ER. And there's a fair amount of defenses, machine guns, flames. Even though they're both splash, it doesn't really seem like a fizzle meta. Like we'll show an example hit right there against a maxed out 2 ER, max flames and machine guns at least. And even without troop damage, you can see that as long as you stagger those rifles, you can still get through the base. So even though it seems high on defense right away, don't think it should be too much of an issue, especially once you move forward in the tree. And even if you do want, there is some troop damage right there. But then going from 2 ER to 3 ER, that's one of the unique things about this season. The deck layouts are really kind of interesting going from 3, 4, and 5. So this one's a really long deck layout. And, well, you're kind of forced to go all the way till the end. If you want, you can put all the ERs towards the back or kind of stagger them. And a bunch of things at 3 ER. Some good offense on the main path. Flares, shock bombs, troop health, and a cool few bit of dead ends, which all have some defenses next to them. Like on the bottom here, maybe a hot pot or something, get mines building health. Kavan is right away, so if it does get pretty dirty, you can always use him. And some more dead ends, mortars on this side, critters for mines, but even maybe clear out ERs, especially that troop health and troop damage does affect critters. And another defense having critter launchers. It's been a while since we have them this early, but I think with the amount of offense, again, it doesn't look too bad. And as we go forward, there's shock mines too, then we go to 4 ER. So the difference, there's 4 ER. It goes from just this little part, now all the way to the right side. So kind of a fun deck layout. It might mean that everyone is forced to go all the way at the end, so it might not be too much variety in hits. Because even at 4 ER, like you have heavies right here. Gotta get through medics, and I guess if you want, there's some few buildings right there. But if you think about even something like Heavy Rush, and can you Heavy Rush through all this side? And it might be a bit tough. Since you already have rifles, maybe running like Rifle Zooks. Or just a little bit into 4 ER, we have Chicken's favorite bombers. And a really strong offense, but we get it pretty early in the tree. Bombers of course have that range, but because these deck layouts are so narrow, it's not always certain that bombers are going to be the fastest troop. Or at least if they're going to be so much faster than Zukas. So we can kind of see how the meta goes, but at least we do have this option. Everyone has to get bombers. There's some boom cannons too against them, some mechs that can stun stuff, and some artillery. There is only 50 building health at this point, so maybe artillery is useful to clear buildings, even kill ERs. Just gotta watch out for it being pretty expensive to max out. And then once you get enough tech level, you can go ahead open up 5 ER. And 5 ER goes even more extreme, going from 4, and now you have to go from the left side to that side, all the way to the bottom. So cool little wraparound for all ground troops at least. But the good news is, if you don't want to use ground troops and walk all the way around, rocket choppers right there at 5 ER, and some of those long-range defenses, rockets and shock launchers. But the cool thing is, everyone has rocket choppers, so if you're a bomber player or you're a RC player, you have either one as an option. And then some more dead ends that kind of end in a defense node. We have at this point 100 troop health, so again favored on offense side. Some building damage too at 5 ER. But multi-node, a few more cannons, so at this point you can have, looks like 9 cannons. And a few buildings, Doom Cannon or Sky Shield. Same deal over here. And as we go forward, there's Barrage, GBE, and a nice classic 1 launcher node. So either way, since we're kind of near the halfway in the season, I think either Bombers or RCs both seem like okay options. I wouldn't expect too difficult hits, especially with this deck layout. There's not much variety in what you can do, which usually means that you'll go from one side, either maybe ground troops from the left, could be RCs from the right, and just watch them clear the base. You can go ahead and open 6 ER. Sadly, it's not going along that dead end trend. It's still a cool deck layout, a big gap on the left side, this weird one on the right, and again you can use RCs to fly over gaps, but it really opens up for bombers too. It's kind of the perfect spot for having heavy choppas, have them right there at 6 ER, and the troop damage at this point, you have 100 troop damage and only 50 building health, which means that it's still favored in offense. Another proto right here, maybe a Sky Shield. And if you want to spend 100 keys, you can go with this top dead end, Sparky, Gunboat Energy, and this cool one. 3 heavy hitting boom cannons, or 6 mortars. There's snipers too, but who cares about them? And Brick right before 7 ER. Kind of a key vacuum, but it's a good chance for people who maybe aren't as ahead as others to really catch up and maybe rise in rank. With finally being the 7 ER deck. And it's one we've seen a few times, just a left ramp and almost everything on the right. So could be good for both bombers or RCs. And we'll see what's at 7. Got another proto, another Sky Shield, so could have 4 this season. Some more building damage, few mines right there, probably boom mines for bombers. And here maybe a grappler. Finally some building health and troop damage, so there's a lot of good stuff at 7, meaning you kind of want to try to get to the end of the tree. But if you can't, and let's say you're ER capped, then still you can make a good push at 6 ER, or even 5. That's the main thing with every season. If you can't get to the end of the tree, just make sure you make a solid push as early as possible. Now here are the final boosts on the top left, so kinda even with building health and building damage, 150 troop damage, so a bit more favored in offense. The one thing about this tree though is it's kind of expensive, meaning that with all these dead ends, if you want to get every single defense, it might be tough for just the 3 weeks we have. So just being a bit more careful and not getting every single thing as soon as you see it. In fact, a lot of these dead ends might save till the end of the tree. The one big thing about this season is there's no Seekers and no lasers, so maybe making a lot of people happy, a lot of people mad. And aside from Seekers being annoying for some people, because we don't have lasers, it means that compacts might be a thing towards the end. And lasers are great against crit launchers, but the one thing we might have to watch out for is people making compacts with a classic critter factory. And that's basically when you have a grappler surrounded by critter launchers. Because that way it grabs like bullet or heavies and critter launchers shoot them. And once the heavies die, critters go ahead to whatever other troops you have, maybe bombers or something. Which I guess the cool part about the end is, if you want, you can have 4 critter launchers. So, might be a fun thing, might not be, but I think it's too early to decide. See that cool little critter factory there? But I think in the beginning and as you go towards bombers and RCs, it should really be an easy style meta. You saw the deck layouts, it's kind of just going along that narrow path, and is something that we've never seen before. So it would be cool to see how it works, but let me know what you think about those crazy decks and the fact that there's no lasers or Seekers. It does take a lot of guts to make a tech tree, so if you don't like the season as it goes, then maybe don't put too much blame on Chicken. It could be fun for like some random things, but again, you're putting a lot out there, making your own tech tree, your own deck layouts. And like most seasons, going with an open mind and we'll see how it goes. But we already told Chicken about that secret meta, using all Cryoneers, so make sure we keep that secret. But tomorrow we'll have a tech tree guide with going more in depth on the starting path and what might work out. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.